lead and manage the office with integrity, transparency, and accountability. I will preserve and protect the Constitution and the laws of Texas. It's time to restore trust in the Sheriff's Office. Please follow our campaign at danaforsheriff.com. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Hello, everybody. My name is Raul Reyes, and I'm running for Congress in Congressional District 23. I am a Trump Republican. I'm from the great city of Del Rio, Texas, born and raised on the border. I'm a retired lieutenant colonel, formerly a vice president of a junior college in Uvalde, Texas. I am a Trump supporter. I believe in America, and we need to put America in District 23 first. We need to secure the border, folks. We have illegal mass migration, and it has to stop. I'm pro-life, and I'm going to defend your religious freedom all the way through my tenure in Congress. I'm for the Second Amendment. No more infringements on our rights to defend ourselves in this great country. And I support our veterans. Being a veteran myself, I fully understand the issues and the problems that we have with the VA medical care system. I'm here to change that. With your support, we can get the care that our veterans need. God bless Texas and God bless America. I'm Raul Reyes, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the Raul Reyes for Congress Committee.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office property since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru, located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town, visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
Doc says all the best words start with P. Prudence is a good word. Airlines will always say, put your own mask on first, then help your loved ones. Prudence means making sure that your family food supply is secure. Most stores have at best a 72-hour supply of food, and if something goes wrong, resupply will not happen quickly. You should have at least a 90-day supply of your favorites because it will allow you to weather the worst crisis and make plans for the future. The answer is NewManna.com. N-U-M-A-N-N-A. New Manna is not just food storage, but really tasty food that you will enjoy eating. New Manna food is designed to last for 25 years, but many people enjoy it several times a week. Now is the time to lay in a supply of tasty New Manna food for your family. Be prepared and know your family is safe. Go to NewManna.com right now for fast delivery. That's NewManna.com.
You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Hi, from Houston, Texas, a man who calls it like he sees it, without the normal political correctness you may have grown comfortable with. It's time for the Texas Perspective on current news and events. This show is not for the faint of heart or easily offended. Get your number 2 pencil ready. The Inquisition is about to begin. If you have questions, please refer them to the chat room and make them good.
Go ahead, make my day.
The doctor is in, and he will see you now.
Well, I guess we better get on with it.
And welcome to the show. Glad to have all of you here on a Monday. It is Monday, April the 20th. And, of course, it's 1 o'clock, 1:08 p.m. here in Houston time, which would make it, 11:08 out there on the West Coast. Glad to have all of you on the show. Like and share. We need all the help we can get here, folks. On that note, we're going to start getting to some other news here, and I want to be careful. A, I want to make sure you can hear me, but B, looks like the levels might be a little low, so we'll bring them up. See if that's better for you. So we're trying to get all of now. If that's too crispy, please let me know. It's hard to tell, but I'm looking at the numbers here, and it doesn't look like it's too loud. So I'll be looking for your comments in the chat room. Hello, Kathy up near Dallas. So nice to see you today. Hope you are feeling well. And of course, Glenn, our schmuck. Our truck driving buddy out there. Glad to see you. Robert Litton. Glad to see you. All my truck driving friends out there. Hashtag Black Smoke Matters. And I want you guys once again to remember that if you go to the store and there's something on the shelf for you to buy, a trucker brought that to you. It didn't come by some internet fairy. A trucker brought that to you. And we should be very grateful to all our truckers. In fact, I posted the other day, Donald Trump recognized on Friday, he recognized the truckers for the patriotic duties that they perform. And I was so glad to see that, to see him recognize that publicly. Hello from Pennsylvania, Jessica. Nice to see you. And, of course, Wayne Howell, our resident herpetologist from right here in Houston. Glad to see you, too. So KT Kendall, he's a true patriot. Glad to see KT. And who else? Pepe out there in Las Vegas. Always glad to see him, our resident F4 pilot. And Gloria Cox, one of the 2 girls from Texas that you can catch her live show every Friday from 10 until noon on Raging Elephant Radio. So having gotten through all of that, government tyrants, what a worthless bunch of bastards they are. So they decided that they were going to fill in this skate park to make sure that the skaters couldn't go and skate. So they filled in all the skate pits with sand. But this is where I love the American spirit. So what do? They turn it into a dirt track for motorcycles. They said, all right, great. Now we got a place to go race our motorbikes. So I love it when the American spirit triumphs, my friend. And that made my heart glad, and I hope it made your heart glad too. But I thought it was pretty dadgummed impressive the way that they said, okay, you gave us lemons, we'll make some lemonade. And that's what they did. So I think this is also something worth talking about. Todd Starnes, who happens to be one of my favorite people, he wrote, Big Bird eats filet mignon while your kid goes hungry. House Democrats, of course, once again, a bunch of anti-American, anti-Christ, baby-killing. I mean, that's who these people are. I'm sorry. I know that one of my liberal friends has taken exception to the baby-killing part. So let me clarify that. The idea, they call it abortion, but it's baby killing. That's what it is, plain and simple. And if your party supports baby killing, you can't be a part of that. So I'm just pointing out what it really is. And these guys should be slammed. Their allegedly massive coronavirus relief package is actually designed to support anti-American, anti-Christ, globalist agendas. Nancy Pelosi's 1,100-page proposal includes another $35 million for the Kennedy Center for Performing Arts. I mean, this is terrible. They want to get through the most restrictive anti-gun bill in the history of America. They want to try to, I mean, I know it's hard to believe that anything could be more restrictive than the National Firearms Act of 1934, and I trust that all of you guys know about that. But they're trying to get one even more restrictive put through. But this is what these guys support. And this whole idea of public television or the National Endowment for the Arts, the very fact that they would get money, it's ridiculous. These are anti-American, anti-Christian organizations, and I find it completely unacceptable. And, of course, Nancy Pelosi's daughter runs the Kennedy Center. I don't suppose there's any connection there. I don't suppose there's any sort of malfeasance going on there, because we all know that Democrats can't be racist by nature and that Democrats would never do anything wrong with your money, would they? But nonetheless, I just wanted to get that in here early on the show. Now, one of my listeners says I don't do enough Texas news, while I think the rest of my listeners say, do you ever talk about anything besides Texas? Well, I have to talk about Texas for a minute, because our faithless governor, Mr. Spine of Linguini, Gregory Abbott, a man who has been corrupt for many, many years, and a man who is planning to run for president in 2024, he has still refused to open up the state of Texas, even though we have practically no virus cases here in the state of Texas. He is still refusing to open up the state of Texas. And let me give you the current numbers. Today is April the 20th. Here in America, oh my God, we are now up to 746,000 cases. So let me get that in perspective. This is very important that you have a calculator with a lot of decimal points available. So here's the math. I take 746,625 cases, and I divide that by the legal residents of the United States, which would be 328 million. And I come up with now an infection rate. Oh my God, this is gigantic. Drum roll, please. 0.0022% of Americans. That's right. 0.002% of Americans have now either been diagnosed or misdiagnosed with the coronavirus. 0.002%. And this, my friends, is why we're shutting down America. So right here in Texas, oh, it's probably even worse here in Texas, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Why, here in Texas, we've got 18,923 cases. We'll just round it off. We'll make it 19,000, okay, here on April the 20th. And we're going to divide that by the legal population of Texas, which is about 30 million. And the number, that means that here in Texas, we have 0.0006% of the population of Texas has been affected by the coronavirus. And that number has not changed in several days, 0.0006. So in Texas, we have 6/100,000% of people that are affected by the virus. If we add in the 12 million illegal aliens that live in Texas, well, it's a much lower number than that. And yet Greg Abbott, the worthless bastard that he is, cannot see his way fit to open Texas. This week, however, he did take a major step, which everybody is heralding and just joyful about. He has said that as long as your business can offer curbside service, then he'll let you reopen. I assume this includes all of the houses of prostitution and liquor stores. Oh, and he opened the state parks. Isn't that nice? He opened the state parks. So we're just ecstatic here in Texas. So now, you know, if you're going through downtown Houston and one of the ladies out there approaches you in her scantily clad outfit, and offer services directly to you, I guess that will be acceptable, because that will be curbside service. And you can even take her to a state park and it will be okay. So I didn't mean to be sexist. I mean, there might be some women out there picking up men too. I don't know. But anyway, that's our governor for you, though. In spite of the fact that we have had continuous rallies now in Austin, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we've had rallies in Austin. And on Saturday, we had a huge rally up in Austin, 300 to 400 people at the Capitol demanding that Greg Abbott reopen Texas. But you see, Greg Abbott is not a populist. Greg Abbott is not even a Republican. So Greg Abbott really doesn't give a rat's behind what you think. Greg Abbott's going to do what's good for his globalist buddies, and that means he is not going to reopen Texas. And right now, while we're enjoying supremely low gas prices, I want you guys to remember this. For every penny that gas prices go down, 1,000 people lose their jobs in the great state of Texas, the great Republic of Texas. So I love low gas prices as much as anybody, and I can assure you that all of my truck driving buddies love these low gas prices. But in fact, I'm looking in here. Hello, Wilmer. Glad to see you. Sandy Grossman up there in Montgomery County. Good to see you. And Janet Knutson and Mistel. I like that name. Mistel Mack. Glad to have you. Are you related to Sheriff Mack? Just thought I'd ask. I know you guys enjoy low gas prices, and I'd be glad to have my truck driving friends chime in and tell me what they think about these low gas prices. But nonetheless, the other problem with that is because people are not buying as much, truck drivers are not driving as much. And truck drivers get paid by the mile in most cases. So if they're not delivering anything, if nobody's calling them saying, hey, bring me this, they're aching. Ladies and gentlemen, I assert to you that absolutely, to quote our illustrious duly elected president, the greatest president in the history of the United States, fully documented by yours truly and others. I mean, with over 310, I need to update that list. It's probably close to 320 amazing things he's done now. We've got to reopen America. The entire world economy hangs upon America. And what the globalists are trying to do is to destroy the entire American economy, thus destroying the world economy, so that at that point they can bring in their globalist leader. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that globalist leader is going to be. If you listen to my shows with Wally Wood, I'd encourage you to go back through the archives. We gave you a few clues. But that's what they want to do. They say, oh my God, the whole world is in crisis. This is all Donald Trump's fault. Donald Trump has destroyed the entire world. And now we have to have a new world leader. I would call him a dictator, but they'll call him a world leader who will then step in and say, I can solve all of your problems. I'm not like that idiot Donald Trump. I can fix everything if you'll just bow down to me. So that's where we're at, guys. Pepe said you have low gas. Yes, Pepe. 141 the last time I filled up, and that was 3 days ago. 141 a gallon. What is it in Vegas? I'd be interested in knowing. But otherwise, it's cheap. And hey, Paul Kaiser, thank you, man. I appreciate that, being in the amen corner. We will have our phone lines restored possibly as early as tomorrow. As you know, the studio in Eagle Point, Oregon burned down, and that lost us a lot of our capabilities and connections out there. Frank's doing his best as he can, putting all of this stuff back together. But that's why we don't have our regular call-in number. Now, those of you that have the backline number, if you want to call in and talk, please do. Glad to have you. But I wanted to get through all of this stuff. Texas, we do have a problem here. We've got to reopen. I went by one of the nightclub owners where my band, the Green Brothers Band, plays from time to time. And that place is going to be gorgeous here. He said, after next week, we will be done refinishing the bar, and we will have the new carpets put in, and the paint will all be done. And then I'm going to come in with the girls, do a super clean and really get this place nice. So I'm looking forward to that. Pepe said their gas is $2.34 in Las Vegas. Wow. So we're very nearly $1 lower per gallon. That'd mean on an average fill up, we're $25 a tank lower. So take that for what it's worth. Pepe, I hope that gets out to you pretty soon. I don't know, how is it in Pennsylvania, Jessica? I'd be interested in knowing that. And I'd also be interested in knowing where all of our truck driving friends are. If you want to chime in the chat room and let me know, I appreciate that very much. But anyway, we're hoping to get some of this stuff reopened. Now, I'm personally calling for all business owners. If you own a retail location, I'm asking you to tell the governor of your state to stick it in his ear and let's reopen our states. Here in Texas, I'm asking all of you to reopen. Don't listen to what that Peter Puffing fudge packing butt pal Sylvester the Thundercat Turner is telling you to do. Don't listen to him. Let's open up. Don't listen to the governor. Let's open up. Because the virus is not nearly as bad as the cure has been. Robert says he's in Arkansas, headed for Michigan. Oh yeah, that would be the Democratic People's Republic of Michigan, I think is what they're calling it now. Have you heard about that tyrant up there? What's her name? Witten, I think. I don't remember. But she is out of control, and she needs to get whacked. So anyway, I'm looking in the America Voice radio chat room. Nobody's in there. Where are you guys at? I don't know. In other news, drones that were donated by China are now being used to enforce social distancing in 22 states. This is not good. They're monitoring your cell phone data to find out if you guys are clustering together. And the info is probably being sent back to China as well. I find that not good. I don't like it. Abhorrent, I think, would be a good word for it. I would tell you to shoot the drones down if you happen to see one, but since you don't know where that bullet's going to go after you fire it, and everything that goes up must come down, and a lot of people don't know this, but when bullets come down, they come down with very high velocity. I would encourage you not to do that. So Dave Barker, my liberal buddy, he said people believe what they want to believe. Well, yes, and that was a comment as to President Trump going off on a corrupt official at a recent press conference. So, and I may play that for you a little bit later on, but I want to get to this. Did the shutdown work? I don't know. We're going to find out if the shutdown worked or not. We're going to see it in the rate of the flu and the rate of the pneumonia. We're going to see it in that. But I got to tell you, so far, my guess is the shutdown did not work. In fact, I want to talk a little bit about the Swedish model. Sweden says that battling the coronavirus without destroying the economy has proven effective because their numbers have stabilized. The United States, let me see, did we pass this? I want to make sure I'm giving you accurate, up to date. Yes, we're up to 746,000 cases. The United States and deaths, let's see how many deaths we have. So far, under 40,000 as of today, but they're saying the United States has passed 40,000 deaths due to, or presumed to be due to, the coronavirus on Sunday. By the way, we hit our spike. We hit our spike a week ago. But the U.S. has shut down the economy thanks to the expertise of Dr. Tony Fauci and Dr. Deborah Birx, two leading anti-American globalists. And remember, originally they said that we're going to have possibly as many as 2.2 million deaths in the United States this year. And my guess was going to be 20,000. All right. So let's suppose that we're double what my guess was. I said 20,000. It looks like it's going to be 40 or 50,000. But who got closer, me or them? They said 2.2 million. I said 20,000. I got closer. And in Sweden, their response has worked really well. They left their schools open, their gyms open, their cafes open, their bars open, their restaurants open, and they just simply said, if you think you're sick, stay home. They said, if you think that you might be contagious, stay home. But everybody else went out and did what everybody else does. It's worked really well. They didn't destroy their economy. They didn't destroy their economy. Well, what have we done here? We have utterly destroyed our economy over this virus that very few people have and very few people are going to get. Yeah, Frank said, if you die in a flaming car wreck, but they think that your corpse tested for coronavirus or somebody heard you cough before you died in the car wreck, you're going to be listed as a corona death. I know that to be true because I've got it from too many different sources now. I know that the hospitals are being ordered, instructed that any death they can tie to the coronavirus, they must do it. And they're paying them to do it. They get extra money for doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the greatest hoax foisted upon the American public since Harrison J. Bonnell ran for president. And it's time for us to get over it and get around it and get back to life. I like the idea about the herd mentality and getting rid of a virus because when enough people become immune to it, that spreads. Right now, we have done serious damage to the American public with vaccines. The truth is, every epidemic in history ran its course. And even the bubonic plague, we determined, was due to hygiene issues more than anything else. So, yes, did we get something good out of this virus? Yeah, I think probably we did. We learned that we need to wash our hands. What a revelation this is. The doctors figured that out, by the way, hundreds of years ago, certainly at least 100 years ago. Here in America, the doctors realized that by thoroughly washing their hands and staying clean and then cleansing the area where they were going to do surgery, they could stop a lot of problems. This is what should be done. Let's open up everything. You know if you're sick. You know if you're sick. And if you're sick, stay home. You know if you're in a high-risk group. If you're in a high-risk group and you have a fearful heart, stay home. It's the best possible thing you could do. For one thing, I don't want you spreading fear in the community. I'd rather have you hiding in your closet at home, than have you out amongst the rest of the real people. But God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love and strength and a sound mind. So if you claim to be a Jew or you claim to be a Christian, what do you fear? Now, who's that guy, Prager? Yeah, Dennis Prager. He's a good Jew. I like him. And I enjoyed his deposition this morning where he talked about this virus. Now, he said, I'm not a praying man in particular. He said, I've only ever asked God for two things in my life. And he said, coincidentally, both of those things happened, but I don't believe that's because of God. I would say that if you have asked God for two things in your life, and you got 100% answer of those two things, how could you not believe in God? Because I can assure you that I've asked God for more than one thing in my life, and I didn't get all of those things that I asked for. In fact, there's a great country song, Thank God for Unanswered Prayers. I'm not sure they were unanswered prayers. Sometimes God answers no. Sometimes God answers in a different way. But that's where we should put our faith in, and we should quit worrying about this virus. We should quit being fearful. When I go out into public, I carry a mask in my pocket. I carry that mask for other people, because if I see someone that's horrified that I'm not wearing a mask and I need to do some business in that particular place, I can whip that thing out and put it on and make them feel better. But that's it. That's the extent of my compliance in this. Now, me and several of my friends met in the park on Saturday. And we met in the park and we talked about what are we going to do about this thing. And we talked about what are we going to do to get our rights restored. We talked about what a new republic should look like if it comes to that. We're going to do that every Saturday until this thing is over. And who knows, maybe continue on as our membership grows. But ladies and gentlemen, what we're doing right now is killing America. It is killing America. In fact, well, I've got another story. I'm going to get to it right after the break. So we're going to hit this first break. Please support my advertisers. I need the money. And the only way I can keep doing this, guys, is if you help me. Hope you like my tie today. And we'll be right back on Right Side of the Mic.
Join us in the chat on YouTube and Facebook.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars, or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru, located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town, visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
Joe Biden promised Ukraine $1 billion if they fired the prosecutor investigating his son's company.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
But when President Trump asks Ukraine to investigate corruption, the Democrats want to impeach him, and their media lapdogs fall in line. They lost the election. Now they want to steal this one. Don't let them.
Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Never want a serious go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
I'm Joe Dana. As your candidate for Harris County Sheriff, I bring 25 years experience in law enforcement. A conservative, I am committed to lead and manage the office with integrity, transparency, and accountability. I will preserve and protect the Constitution and the laws of Texas. Time to restore trust in the sheriff's office. Please follow our campaign at dana.com. Thank you, and may God.
Hello, everybody. My name is Raul Reyes, and I'm running for Congress in Congressional District 23. I am a Trump Republican. I'm from the great city of Del Rio, Texas, born and raised on the border. I'm a retired lieutenant colonel, formerly a vice president of a junior college in Uvalde, Texas. I am a Trump supporter. I believe in America, and we need to put America in District 23 first. We need to secure the border, folks. We have illegal mass migration, and it has to stop. I'm pro-life, and I'm going to defend your religious freedom all the way through my tenure in Congress. I'm for the Second Amendment. No more infringements on our rights to defend ourselves in this great country. And I support our veterans. Being a veteran myself, I fully understand the issues and the problems that we have with the VA medical care system. I'm here to change that. With your support, we can get the care that our veterans need. God bless Texas and God bless America.
I'm Raul Reyes, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the Raul Reyes for Congress Committee.
Doc says all the best words start with P. Prudence is a good word. Airlines will always say, put your own mask on first, then help your loved ones. Prudence means making sure that your family food supply is secure. Most stores have at best a 72-hour supply of food, and if something goes wrong, resupply will not happen quickly. You should have at least a 90-day supply of your favorites because it will allow you to weather the worst crisis and make plans for the future. The answer is newmanna.com. N-U-M-A-N-N-A. New Manna is not just food storage, but really tasty food that you will enjoy eating. New Manna food is designed to last for 25 years, but many people enjoy it several times a week. Now is the time to lay in a supply of tasty New Manna food for your family. Be prepared and know your family is safe. Go to newmanna.com right now for fast delivery. That's newmanna.com.
Please return to the Doc Green Show. This is Marvin the Martian. When you miss it, you make me very, very angry.
Certainly. Yes, sir. I will give you that information in a few minutes. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Just as I was getting ready to go to air, here we come. I get a phone call. So anyway, I'll get that information back to him. And let's see that, and let's open this. So sorry about that. Right now, I'm a little bit short of commercials. The commercial breaks used to be a lot longer. As my buddy Greg said, can us essential employees get an essential bar to have essential drinks after work before I essentially slap someone? Asking for a friend. I know the feeling. Here we have a case in an attempt to tamp down so-called non-essential public excursions. The police are ramping up citation efforts. Law enforcement officers reportedly taking it very serious. They have begun fining locals for everything from supermarket snack runs to unapproved rides on public transportation. One such shopper was fined the equivalent, let me see, that'd be about $50 for being caught purchasing only wine and snacks on a single trip to the store. This is not believed to be an isolated incident. Another citizen reported getting a fine for buying a bottle of Prosecco. I don't even know what that is. A friend of an individual later called out law enforcement over an incident on Twitter, said, "Your officers went through my friend's bag and fined her because of what she bought. Might I remind you that alcohol is on the permitted list while your fascism is not. And what is and is not considered an essential grocery item is just not so black and white. For one thing, if you're buying wine, maybe you're buying it to cook. That's got to be essential, isn't it?" Sorry, I forgot to turn the cameras back on. This is why I need an in-house, in-studio producer to do these sorts of things. So anyway, the outlet did suggest the authorities may not be abusing that discretion, however. Instead of fining the individuals in question for failure to comply with officers' request, they simply just might want to see your identification or just make sure you're cooperating. I don't know what you guys think. I was hoping that Joe Dana, Sheriff's Deputy Joe Dana, was going to call in because it's pretty important to me to find out what his thoughts are, since he is running for Harris County Sheriff, on all of these abuses of our rights. This has got to bother you at least as much as it's bothering me. So I don't know why we're doing this. What do you guys say? This is what I say. The Constitution is either good or it's bad. If the Constitution is good, it's good all the time. If the Constitution is bad, well, we should just get rid of the whole damn thing. The Bill of Rights in the Constitution, the First Amendment and Second Amendment in particular, are critically important to America. The right to the freedom of assembly, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom of speech, and the right to seek redress from government when government oversteps their bounds. That is the First Amendment, ladies and gentlemen, and that's critical in my mind, that we respect the First Amendment and that we not allow continued abuse of our rights. And I'm always interested in what you guys have to say about that. And once again, if you got the backline number and you want to call in, please do it. But this idea that we got a problem here, we got an emergency here, so we have to suspend your constitutional rights till we fix this emergency. I find that completely unacceptable. First Amendment is either, the Constitution is either good or it's bad. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, I realize that in 1934, we passed the National Firearms Act because we had a crisis. They had at that time abolished liquor and said that you can't make it, you can't sell it, and you sure as hell can't drink it. And so we passed this law because they found out that this created a whole new network of criminals. Made Joe Kennedy rich. JFK would never have been elected to the presidency if Joe Kennedy hadn't made so much money off of illegal alcohol sales. So that is why we got the National Firearms Act. But you see, it's just wrong. And the National Firearms Act has killed more Americans than any other law that has ever been passed in America. No question in my mind. And you always hear from the leftists, the liberals, well, if it'll save just one life. Well, you want to know what would save thousands of lives? Repealing the National Firearms Act of 1934 and its companion act of 1968. Repeal those two laws, and all of a sudden the citizens in Chicago will be armed as well as the Sinaloa foot soldiers in Chicago. Right now in Chicago, the Sinaloa drug cartel foot soldiers outnumber the cops by 3-1. And this is why we have so many people killed in Chicago by guns, because the crooks all have guns, and a lot of the crooks have guns that will rapid fire. But the average citizen of Chicago does not have a gun. He cannot defend himself. But that was the intent of the Democrats that have run Chicago for the last, I don't know, what is it, 70, 80 years up there? I don't know. Maybe if Babette's listening, she'll call in and fill us in. So you want to fix a problem? Well, restore our rights that have been infringed upon by the government, because when all of the citizens are armed, we no longer have this problem. So the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Third Amendment we're not too worried about right now. The Fourth Amendment, the right to be secure in your papers and your person, to not have an illegal search executed upon you. That means when you go to the store, it's illegal for a government official to go into your bag and see what you have. Now, I guess it's the store can do that if they want to do that. And I guess if you're shopping on their private property, they have a right to do that. But if a police officer wants to do that, nope, can't do it. Wrong. Because if you're going to search somebody's bag, you have to have a search warrant issued and signed by a judge, and not those criminals that were behind the FISA court. No, not those crooks. You need to get a real honest judge and get him to sign it. So these are things that I am seriously concerned about. We have found that now Facebook, and I know Frank likes to call it Fedbook, that's probably a good name for it, but they're working with state governments now to take down organizing announcements for these protests. They're spreading across the nation. Like I said, we had 3 in Austin this week. They're spreading across the nation because America is waking up to the fact that the cure is killing more people than the disease. Couple of people at Clowns Not News, Oliver Darcy and Dory Sullivan, posted Monday about Facebook and the states conspiring to suspend the First Amendment rights of Americans. Anti-quarantine protests are being organized through Fedbook in California, New Jersey, Nebraska, and these people are now being removed from the platform on instructions from the government because they violated the stay-at-home order. I know that we did use Fedbook to set up our first protest when a couple of angry mommies with an anti-vaccine group decided to stand up for what is right. And they did. And they asked me if I would join them and if I would go to Austin and be willing to speak on their behalf. And I did do that. And I was grateful for the request. Freedom of speech is important. Freedom of assembly is important. And there were a wide cross-section of Texans represented at that rally. I mean, there were people there that were anti-vaxxers. There were people there that were just anti-communism. There were people there supporting the Republic of Texas, that is Texas secession. But we were all joined together in one particular thing. And that one particular thing was we want to reopen Texas. We want our rights back. So Facebook removed promotions from all of these anti-quarantine groups in California, New Jersey, and Nebraska after they were asked to by state governments. And they're working to get answers from New York, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Pennsylvania as to whether the anti-quarantine protests break those states' social distancing rules. So, yeah, Whitmer, that's her name, up there in Michigan. And they've got a great picture here. It says, a trio of far-right pro-gun provocateurs are behind one of the largest Facebook groups calling for anti-quarantine protest. And I don't know about you. I love seeing guys with fine weapons. I love seeing a gal with a fine weapon, too, by the way, because I'm not sexist at all. And I think nothing makes a girl prettier than a 45 on her hip. So, or an AR-15 strapped over her shoulder. But these are things that have to be done. Now, who's exempt from this? Who's not being attacked? Muslims. That's right. Islamic temples or mosques or whatever you want to call them. they have not been shut down. They shut down the Christian church, for instance, in New York, said no Christians could have an Easter celebration, but did they shut down the mosque? Oh, no. There's a mosque in Syracuse that's still open for daily prayers every day. They don't worry about social distancing, and nobody will dare say anything. Now, this mosque, located on the north side, used to be the Holy Trinity Catholic Church, but the Holy Trinity Catholic Church shut down because they couldn't find enough Christians that wanted to worship there anymore. So now it's a mosque. And they used, they created a prayer room in there to allow daily prayers to continue in this 116-year-old former church as the holy month, I'll call it the unholy month, of Ramadan nears. So they say in order to prevent the spreading of the virus, so they have created a negative pressure area by covering it with plastic and using two machines to siphon the air out of the room to create negative pressure. All the air in the room is recycled every 4 minutes, and we're calling it a clean room. Now, they are paying attention. They're limiting it to 10 Muslims can pray at a time. And the Muslims that attend this mosque are not otherwise practicing social distancing. So why are the police not attacking? Because it's Islam, because it's safe, it is protected. Meanwhile, parishioners attending a drive-in service at a Baptist church were fined $500 each. 20 cop cars stormed that church. Excuse me. Not Corona, it's popcorn. Oh, how you like my mug? For those of you watching on TV, I'm holding up a Wheelchairs for Warriors mug. Wheelchairs for Warriors, by the way, still needs your contributions. We appreciate it. But 20 cop cars stormed this Baptist church. They told the pastor, Charles Hamilton, that his rights were suspended. And then in another church, somebody went and poured out nails in the parking lot to make sure that everybody got a flat tire. But nobody dares to stand up against Islam, even though Islam represents the greatest threat to the world that has ever been seen. Coronavirus is nothing compared to Islam, my friends. So Sweden is winning the battle here. They not only didn't destroy their economy, but they're also winning on the number of cases. Meanwhile, a Montana county has demanded that citizens wear government-issued pink armbands to prove they have successfully been quarantined for 14 days. Kind of like, the Germans being forced to wear yellow gold stars if they were Jews, or pink triangles if they were homosexuals. But this is the latest deal. They insist that store owners keep customers out unless they are wearing the pink armband to ensure that they have passed the quarantine. And that is in Montana. And they have virtually no cases in Montana. So this is kind of amazing to me. I don't know what's happening, and I don't know why we put up with it. Why do we put up with it? One guy said, funny, these people moved to Montana to get away from the garbage in the cities and the leftist-controlled states. And what do? They bring their collective leftist crap with them and screw the state up. Well, Montana, at least parts of Montana, have a huge influx of people from California. And I think this is probably it. On the other hand, I mentioned the curbside service earlier. Well, the tyrant out in, what is this? New Jersey, Phil Murphy. Yeah, he's banned the annual drive through the tulip farm and says he'll arrest the farmer if even one car is allowed to drive through. So Casey Jansen has a family-owned farm, and they make about $1 million in annual investments in planting tulips to operate this annual drive-through. This week, he was given a message from the Attorney General, Gerber Grewal. I love it. Gerber Grewal. He said, nope, no drive-through here. He said, we invested $1 million to plant all of these tulips so people could drive by and enjoy them. Meanwhile, in Gloucester County, the Dalton Farms Tulip Drive-Thru, which was booked solid through the weekend, was given a pass by the Murphy administration. But Jansen said he got a letter from the state threatening that 2 New Jersey state police officers would be at his farm to arrest him if even one car drove through his tulip farm. So, and Virgil said, we mustn't forget that even after all this is over, Governor Murphy is exactly the same guy who, when asked a direct question by Tucker Carlson as to whether or not he believes his extreme actions may have violated the Bill of Rights, he said, I don't know. That's above my pay grade. How much tyranny will we accept? Ladies and gentlemen, with the exception of the people that are probably listening to the show right now, it has been my confirmed and long-held opinion that the American public, and indeed even Texans, will accept any amount of indignity so long as it doesn't require them to do anything. And that to me is mind-blowing. You know, our founding fathers, they raised the tax on tea, and our founding fathers didn't get on Facebook and talk about it. They didn't just start sending letters. No, our founding fathers bloody well shot them. They said, we're not going to accept this. And if you're going to continue to step on our rights, we are going to fight back. And my friends, they did exactly that. Now, I'm looking at the people in here right now. I just pulled it up. $2.34 in Vegas for gas, by the way. Hello, Darlene. Darlene is one of my friends. Nice to see you. And, yeah, Kimberly Howell, yes. She said, I resent the insinuation that many of us want to open up the economy because we're greedy and we don't care about our fellow citizens. Well, I agree with you, Kimberly. And Pepe said, we're losing money in Arizona. I can tell you Las Vegas right now is dying. They are dying because of this. They count on the tourist trade. Well, nobody's flying. The airlines are going down right now in flames. Probably a poor choice of words. The airlines are going down in flames because nobody's traveling. It's killing them. And then down on the bottom tier, you've got musicians, you've got performance artists, you've got waitresses. All of these people are dying because they don't have any money. Waitresses count on their tips every week. Well, guess what? When you're operating in a drive-through situation, there are no tips, or very small ones. I left a pretty good tip the other day when I went to a Mexican restaurant and picked up my drive-through order. But it's, what are we doing? Hey, Ann Jarvis, nice to see you in there as well. And Dion, nice to see you. And, of course, my partner in hijinks, Mr. Randy Beal. Glad to see you with This is Texas Freedom Force. By the way, let me take this moment. We are going to be at the Alamo on Saturday the 25th. I want to know how many of you are going to join us. Saturday the 25th, that's this coming Saturday because today is Monday the 20th. Saturday the 25th, we will be gathering at the Alamo Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock this coming Saturday afternoon at the Alamo. And we're going to have several really good speakers. We will be handing out gloves. We'll be handing out disinfectant, hand disinfectant. We'll be handing out masks. And we're going to observe social distancing, lest we offend our governor. But we're going to be down there giving speeches and having a genuine good time. I want to know if you're going to come. I would like to have all of you. Wayne said he's bringing his entire family. I want as many people there as possible. We will get good news coverage. So I want you to be a part of history. Be there. Now, primarily, we're going to be talking about trying to save the Alamo from the globalists. Right now, they're trying to destroy our Texas history. I personally am not going to accept that. Dion said we'll be there. I want a huge crowd, guys. I would like to see 300 or 400 people at this event at the Alamo Plaza, to the south side of the Cenotaph, right in front of the Alamo, actually. We'll be there. And I want to see if you guys are going to come. You know, they already destroyed the Lady Bird Fountain, but they promised to send the pieces back to the family. Isn't that nice? And they've already gone to work, and I don't know if they've got it done yet, but they were taking out the band gazebo, which has been there for decades. And I have fond memories of that because my band played in the gazebo twice, 2 different bands, actually. It was a big deal for me. And so the fact they took that out and destroyed it, it really bothers me. I don't like it. So, yeah, Pepe, anybody's got the number can call in. If you got the backline number, I'm not going to give it out on the air. We're waiting for our regular number to get restored. But if you have the regular number, then you are personally a member of the family. Feel free. But first, I'm going to have to hit a break here, guys. And hello, Chris Jorgensen. Nice to see you in there as well. Glad to have all of you guys here on the show. Please like and share, like and share, like and share. And we're going to be right, well, all right, Pepe, call in. Call in. Then we'll hit a break. We'll get Pepe first. So I want to restore America. I want to restore what we stand for here in America. I am counting on you guys to do that, to help me to do that. Now, Nancy Pelosi said she's not going to sign this business loan extension until she fixes the flaws. But ladies and gentlemen, there are no flaws. It was a good program. Give this money not to the bankers like Obama did, Harrison J. Bennell. Don't give this money to them because, as you know, all of that first stimulus money, the TARP money, that all ended up in the hands of the European bankers in Europe, and it did Americans no good whatsoever. It was simply a payback to the globalists. Donald Trump said, no, I'm going to issue checks to Americans. Now, me personally, haven't gotten a check. But a couple of my friends did get their checks last week, and I was very happy to see them. Now, one of my friends, who is still able to continue to work, at least on a limited basis, he said, yeah, I used that money wisely. I bought another gun and some more ammo. Well, ladies and gentlemen, how many people did that help? Because the salesman at the gun store got a commission. The store itself made money, and then the manufacturer made money, and then all of the suppliers that supplied all of the parts to make that gun and to make that ammunition also made money. And the truck driver that delivered the gun got paid. So that was a good move. It did exactly what it was intended to do in saving the economy. And if every American does exactly something like that, we'll all be far better off. So Pepe must be looking for the number because he hasn't called in yet. But this, to me, is proof that this is the way it should be done. Hey, Greg Parker. Feel free to plug your show, Greg Parker. I'd appreciate it if you would. And hello, Sandy. Nice to see you in there as well. There we got it. Pepe, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How's things out in Las Vegas? From what I hear, not so good.
A little on the dark side, you might say.
I mean, what's it like in Las Vegas now? I mean, I bet there's practically no cars on the street.
Wow, yeah, you can say that. There's some roads in the morning that have absolutely no traffic.
Wow. Well, I mean, but nobody, unless you live in the area where you can just drive there. I know some Californians can just drive to Las Vegas, but on the other hand, I think a lot of them are afraid, what if I get stopped in my car driving to Las Vegas? This would be considered non-essential travel.
Yeah. I mean, there was a car here the other day that thought it would be fun to drive to Vegas. They said they did it in half the time, but the highway patrol said, "Hey, that was fantastic." But the ticket wasn't half the time. So they got cited for it anyway.
Well,
but
so what are you doing? You got any missions in operation, or are you just hanging out waiting?
Well, we lost one. We have a little side thing that we always do. There's a ranch in Arizona that grows poppies. I mean, not poppies, excuse me.
Yeah.
That's the wrong thing to say. I get my words right here.
Well, so you had an event, and
yeah, we had an event in Arizona, but we lost out on it because it was way over the limit, and
so kind of like them shutting down that tulip farm and not letting anybody drive through the tulip farm, for crying out loud. Too many people.
Yeah, too many people. And so, yeah, we lost out on that.
Well,
it was more devastating for the farmer than it was for us. We were more of a, friend to him than it was a business for us.
Well, in my particular case, having a working band, the Green Brothers Band, you can find us on YouTube, Green Brothers Band with an E on the end of green. All of our gigs for April and March were canceled. And I don't know,
Yeah,
I went by the bar this morning to find out if they're, when they're going to book us back in. And this guy said, I don't even know when they're going to let us open. He said, I'm not booking any bands till I know what they're going to make us do.
Yeah, you can't plan anything anymore.
So, and a friend of mine had his wedding canceled. And so they had to reschedule that. He's hoping that will be open by July. So he's rescheduled it for a Texas wedding in July. But this is killing everybody.
I have a brother in Houston there, and we have a family. All the family was coming down, but we can't do that because who can get down there? We can't have a large event because your police. We're going to get cited for it.
Well, it's a problem, and of course Sandy's up there in Montgomery County now. Montgomery County is the most conservative county in Texas, and I don't know what they're doing to them up there. But once again, I have friends that play in the band up there, and they're also out of work. Which is, by the way, I've been trying to get more people to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe because I need subscriptions. I need to get that channel to show up so that we can hopefully get some work booked for the band for the rest of the year, because a couple of the guys in my band, all they do is play music. They don't get it. They don't have any other source of income. And
by the way, on your YouTube channel, I keep subscribing and I keep getting kicked off. And I think I've subscribed 4 times now.
And then they unsubscribe you.
Yep.
I've heard of that happening. So you guys got to check and make sure you're still subscribed. They don't like me very much on YouTube. They used to let me broadcast live there, but they don't let me do that anymore.
You were twice, and then he kicked you off.
Yep, and it's difficult, but and they will never tell you why. And I've reached out to YouTube. I said, "What is the deal? What infraction did I commit this time?" And they never answer you. They don't tell you. So I don't know.
It's a police state. They don't have to tell you.
No, I guess they don't. Well, and of course, I don't know if you heard this, but Kim Pagan, she's in New Jersey, and she has gotten arrested because she scheduled a non-government approved protest. They said she violated the emergency order by organizing a prohibited event.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so, I'm glad I'm not in New Jersey, because in New Jersey, that's also where they arrested that nurse who had a legally carried weapon, but from nearby, I don't know what, Maryland, I think. She had to go into New Jersey for something. She got pulled over. They asked her if she had a weapon. And so that nurse ended up being in jail for 6 weeks while they sorted that out. Her weapon was legal in Maryland, but it wasn't legal in New Jersey.
Yeah, that's why you have to check wherever you go. You have to check to see if your CCW is legal in one state to the other, or if even having your weapon in your vehicle is legal.
Yep. It's a very difficult situation, but we could fix this whole problem by legalizing the Second Amendment, don't you think?
Yes. I find that very difficult that we even have to do that. I was going to tell you, too, with the stimulus check going out, there's a news story that a landlord went out with his tenant and violated their right.
Mm-hmm.
Found out, using their social security numbers and their name, logged into the IRS site, found out when those people got their stimulus check, they demanded payment for their rent.
Well, I've been looking for one of those myself, and I'm not getting it. A couple of my friends have gotten them, but I haven't gotten them, even though I filed my income taxes almost a month ago.
Oh, I'm sure not to get one, but...
Well, that's because you're fabulously wealthy, but some of us aren't.
I wouldn't say fabulous, but the fabulous is a little bit extreme.
Well,
I like the word.
I am late for my break, so I'm going to hit this break now. We're going to be right back on the right side of the mic.
Thank you for taking my call.
Certainly. Thank you for calling, Pepe. Appreciate you. Be right back, guys.
Join us in the chat on YouTube and Facebook.
Doc says all the best words start with P. Prudence is a good word. Airlines will always say, put your own mask on first, then help your loved ones. Prudence means making sure that your family food supply is secure. Most stores have at best a 72-hour supply of food, and if something goes wrong, resupply will not happen quickly. You should have at least a 90-day supply of your favorites because it will allow you to weather the worst crisis and make plans for the future. The answer is NewManna.com. NUMANNA. New Manna is not just food storage, but really tasty food that you will enjoy eating. New Manna food is designed to last for 25 years, but many people enjoy it several times a week. Now is the time to lay in a supply of tasty New Manna food for your family. Be prepared and know your family is safe. Go to newmanna.com right now for fast delivery. That's newmanna.com.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars, or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru, located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
Joe Biden promised Ukraine $1 billion if they fired the prosecutor investigating his son's company.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
But when President Trump asks Ukraine to investigate corruption, the Democrats want to impeach him.
Hey, Doc
and their
Green
media
here.
lapdogs fall in line. They lost the election.
Good.
Now they
It's,
want to steal this one.
Well, it's good to hear
Don't
from you.
let
You
them.
sound great.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market
Well,
rates with
I've got a
amenities
guy
and
that
service.
needs an
Hartman
emergency
has owned and
service
operated
call
commercial
in-house.
office
Do
property
you have
since
somebody you can send
1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-reit.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hello, everybody. My name is Raul Reyes, and I'm running for Congress in Congressional District 23. I am a Trump Republican. I'm from the great city of Del Rio, Texas, born and raised on the border. I'm a retired lieutenant colonel, formerly a vice president of a junior college in Uvalde, Texas. I am a Trump supporter. I believe in America, and we need to put America in District 23 first. We need to secure the border, folks. We have illegal mass migration, and it has to stop. I'm pro-life, and I'm going to defend your religious freedom all the way through my tenure in Congress. I'm for the Second Amendment. No more infringements on our rights to defend ourselves in this great country. And I support our veterans. Being a veteran myself, I fully understand the issues and the problems that we have with the VA medical care system. I'm here to change that. With your support, we can get the care that our veterans need. God bless Texas and God bless America.
All right.
I'm Raul Reyes, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the Raul Reyes for Congress Committee.
But anyway, I got to get back on the show. Commercials are over.
And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
I'm Joe Dana. As your candidate for Harris County Sheriff, I bring 25 years experience in law enforcement. As a conservative, I am committed to lead and manage the office with integrity, transparency, and accountability. I will preserve and protect the Constitution and the laws of Texas. It's time to restore trust in the Sheriff's Office. Please follow our campaign at danaforsheriff.com. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Please return to the Doc Green Show. This is Marvin the Martian. When you miss it, you make me very, very angry.
Oh yeah, we love busting up stuff here on this show, and welcome Carol Penhollow. Nice to see you in there. Looking forward to the day, I go to church with her, looking forward to the day when we can actually go to church, because right now, of course, we can't. And that's because our little church, New Church Texas, New Church TX on YouTube, we are a relatively new Lutheran church, and we meet in school buildings. And of course, since all of the schools are shut down, there are no school buildings to meet in. And right now, all the schools are busy installing the new 5G stuff anyway. They really don't want us around there. So I don't know when we're going to get around to getting back into a building again, but it's really pretty much irritating to me that we can't actually worship together in a church. And hello, Mark Chavez, good to see you. I bet Mark's going to be there on Saturday the 25th when we get to the Alamo, so that's going to be a good time. According to some of the experts, the next 45 days are going to become the most critical period in U.S. financial history. This guy that wrote this article, let me see who wrote this article. Yeah, Mark Dacum. I think it's probably supposed to be Delcom. Looks like Decambre, but I'm using the French pronunciation. He is a disciple of John Templeton, Sir John Templeton, and he said the timing and execution of the reawakening of the U.S. economy from dormancy could be the biggest factor in how quickly it recovers from this COVID-19 Chinese-originated virus issue. He said, we're going to see what's happened. I mean, so far it's infected a few people and killed a few people, but way more have been killed by the economy. Right now, by the way, the suicide rate, the number of people dying from suicide exceeds the number of people that are dying from the virus. And the reason suicides have gone up is because so many people now that were already on the knife edge financially in terms of their life, after this, they see no hope. They say, how could I ever possibly recover? And so they chose a permanent solution to a temporary problem, which you should never do. So that's one more reason why we need to lift this thing right now, why we need to follow the Swedish model and put people back to work, and let's restore our churches and synagogues, and let's just get back to life in general. But he says even if the economic revival is executed flawlessly, it'll be a so-called U-shaped recovery where the rebound of business and consumer activity from pre-crisis levels may be long and slow. The recovery will take time. The best case scenario is this U-shaped recovery. He said the much talked about V-shaped recovery is no longer in the equation because of the unprecedented combination of negatives with this crisis. So Donald Trump has underscored his eagerness to restart the economy. Right now, we are not in a recession because a recession has to go for it has to go for 2 consecutive 30-day periods. We're not there yet. A report on U.S. industrial production falling 5.4% in March, the steepest decline since 1946. And retail sales in March registered an 8.7% slump, while confidence among home builders fell to its lowest reading since 2012. That's the largest monthly change in the index in 30 years. Last week, Trump said he wants to reopen the economy starting on May 1st. I'm telling you, we can't wait that long. Business leaders have urged that we get back to work immediately. Experts said that reopening the economy without having everyone in America tested so that their DNA can be added to the DNA bank, or absent a vaccine so that everyone in America could be properly chipped, could result in a resurgence of the disease. And my answer to that is, who cares? Look, guys, the only thing that probably came out of Darwinianism is survival of the fittest. And ladies and gentlemen, we need that. We need survival of the fittest. If America is going to survive, we don't need people out there reproducing that cannot withstand a little virus like this. So, it's a real serious problem. But it's one that has to be, we got to look at it. What are we going to do about this? Once again, I gave you the numbers earlier. An infinitesimally small group of people have this. And what Nancy Pelosi wants to do is she wants to put in these draconian gun restrictions. She wants to give, well, her and Dianne Not-So-Feinstein, they want to give $500 billion to help the people in Iran with the virus. Could I remind you that the leadership in Iran is calling for the death of America? Now, I realize that is not the average person on the street in Iran, but nonetheless, why in the world would we want to give them money when we've got veterans here in America that are dying? Why would we want to do that? Can't think of a single reason why we would want to do that. Meanwhile, Chris Coons has made a call for billions of tax dollars to go into this new vote by mail thing that they want to put together. They want to do this so that they can steal the election. The November election is the reason why we have the COVID-19 virus. This goes back to Joe Biden getting $1.8 billion, actually Hunter, but trust me, they were both flying on Air Force Two when they went to China and got this $1.8 billion. What do you think China gave them $1.8 billion for? Do you think it was because Hunter Biden was such a whiz at money management? Was it because Hunter Biden knew so much about oil and gas that they gave them $1.8 billion? Or was it because Joe Biden at the time was vice president, and now Joe Biden is running for president, and China now wants their investment back? And so they unleashed the virus. The last-ditch attempt, the last bullet in the gun of the globalists to retain their agenda. That's what I think it was. Now, you can call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but I have way more evidence for that theory than they ever had for Donald Trump being a Russian agent. Because that didn't fly. Although it virtually destroyed America, although it spent millions of taxpayer dollars, probably hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars, trying to frame Donald Trump as a Russian agent, when the real Russian agent would have been Hitlery. That didn't fly. So then they said, oh, we got him on his phone call. Look at him on his phone call. He's asking for a favor. We had to impeach him because he's asking Ukraine for a favor. Well, they began the impeachment proceedings. Of course, it went down in flames because the whole thing was partisan and they had no evidence. In fact, let me see. Do I have that book here? The Case to Impeach Trump, Sham Impeachment. Yeah. 82 pages that are blank except for headings because there was no evidence to impeach Trump. That didn't fly. So they said unleash the virus. If we don't stop Donald Trump, he will certainly be reelected. Well, it's he's going to be reelected in a landslide, the likes of which we've never seen. I think it will even exceed the one that that Ronald Reagan had. But Senator Coons insists that some states should not even have regular elections. They should vote entirely by mail. Now, you guys know how reliable the post office is. This is why they want to have everyone voting by mail, because of the reliability of the post office. I don't know. Oh, here it is. The Evidence to Shampeach. Here's the book. You can see it's a thick one. Let me just give you a quick look at the book. That's it. And that book is by Sean W. Griffin. You can buy it on Amazon. I'd recommend you buy several for your high school kids because they can use it for a notepad since there's so many blank pages in there. But we've heard both Republican and Democrat secretaries of state that are calling for this because they are all globalists and they realize that this is the last chance we have to instate globalism, to have a one world government under a benevolent or maybe not so benevolent dictator. we've got to stop this, guys. We do not want vote by mail. What should happen is vote by mail should be utterly shut down unless you are a member of the military on active duty, verifiably deployed to another nation. Those are the only people that should be allowed to vote by mail. And ladies and gentlemen, we need to install a good set of checks and balances on that. Every ballot that's sent out, and you can find my YouTube video on this, every ballot that is printed and mailed out to a member of the service has to be on cloth paper, gold embossing with a serial number on it, and every one of those has to get a thumbprint from the person that cast the ballot. They had to be numbered. So we've got to know exactly how many were sent out and where they were sent to. It should be group numbers according to branch of service. And that way we have some idea that we may get an accurate count. But if these are not printed on cloth paper, if these are not serial numbered, if they're not issued in small numbers, and each one with a verifiable thumbprint, because that, my friends, is how you prove that there are no duplicates, the thumbprint. It's not for identification of the person casting the ballot. It's simply to be run through the machine so that they can verify that no two ballots had the same thumbprint. So once you do that, you eliminate the variables. But those are the only people that should be allowed to vote by mail. Everyone else, maybe your church will pick you up and take you to the polling place if you need help getting there, or your family will help you get to the polling place, but no one else should be allowed to vote by mail. This whole thing is a scam. They're intending to use this to steal the American government. And I've got a real problem with that. So on that note, let's get to this other story here that I had. Hey, Weston Martinez, my buddy out there in San Antonio. Weston, we're going to be there on Saturday the 25th at the Alamo. Hope to see you. Wayne said the United States Postal Service is the worst organization to ever hit the planet. Ever since our first postmaster retired back in the 90s, the service has sucked now for 40 years. Well, it's absolutely abysmal. It's abominable. I had somebody mail a check to me here in Houston. In Houston. I'm in a suburb of Houston. Took 5 days to get here. 5 days. To go from one part of Houston, not even the other side. To go from Midtown Houston out to Katy. 5 days. You want to trust that with our ballots, with our ability to vote? I think not. Of course, you got to remember that 75% of the money that the United States Post Office gets goes to support former employees that are no longer doing any actual work in the post office. So, nope, bad idea. Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi, she came up on late night TV, standing in front of her $24,000, what do they call those things? Something zero refrigerator, sub-zero refrigerator, showing off her $13,000, her $13 ice cream, pays $13 a gallon. She was visibly disheveled in front of the camera begging for money while demonstrating that she has an entire freezer full of expensive ice cream. So people that can't figure out how they're going to pay the rent are told they should give her money. I don't know. It's kind of mind-blowing just how out of touch these Democrats are. Kind of reminds me of the time that I did a theater room for a very wealthy client. I mean, so this client is so wealthy that in his garage, he put in a lift so he could drive Ferrari 1 in, raise it up, and then drive Ferrari 2 in under it. So I go to this client to collect on a home theater room that I'd finally completed putting in, and everything was working well. And I walk in and I talk to his beautiful blonde French wife. And I say, can I just get paid for this? And she looks at me and says, oh, please, my husband just bought a yacht and the floor is completely rotted out. We're going to have to replace the entire floor. Could you please give us just a couple of weeks on this bill until we can deal with this? It's just devastating. And I was so flabbergasted. I didn't know what to say. I mean, here I am. I'm asking for $500, you know, that I desperately needed. Because at that point in time, I had 4 kids living at home. And I didn't know what to say. I said, yeah, sure, I completely understand. And I went and got into my beater that was leaking oil with my air conditioning switch that had an on and off position because the thermostat had failed, and drove home. I didn't know what else to say because I could see that she was devastated. And I didn't want to heap any more difficulty on this woman living in a $3.5 million Frank Lloyd Wright house. Because obviously the floor in the yacht did need to be replaced, and I didn't want to stand in the way of that. Never got a ride in the yacht. Anyway, that's how these people are. That is how they are. So you can take that for what it's worth. Charlie Daniels, one of my favorite people. I did one time, me and my oldest son, we got to spend an hour with Charlie Daniels in private. And we just sat down and talked. That was the only thing that we sat down to do, and get an autograph. And so we got to spend an hour with him. He is a great guy. But Charlie Daniels said, Ms. Pelosi, do you know how many desperate veterans that the $25 million you gave the Kennedy Center could have given just a reason for living? He said, my guess is you don't give a damn. Pelosi originally wanted $35 million for the Kennedy Center, but they dropped it down to $25 million. You know the money will be well spent because her daughter runs the Kennedy Center. And then right after the bill got signed and they got the check written, the Kennedy Center said it was going to lay off all the orchestra musicians and all of the dancers because they didn't have enough money to pay them. Mitch McConnell told Martha McCallum at Fox News that Pelosi needs to knock off her political talking points and actually work with the Republicans to get this new bill through. But she's continually playing games. Now she says, this is not important enough for me to return to Washington until the first week of March because I'm on vacation right now and I just can't afford to do this. I've got to stay here and eat my ice cream and drink my $300 a bottle Macallan Scotch. So they're just leaving us hanging, guys. Government of the people, by the people, for the people requires, first of all, the people. That's why you need to show up at these rallies when we have them. And secondly, we've got an election coming up in November. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with the primaries. We need to solve the primary problem, and I don't even know when we're going to have those elections now. But in November, I'm going to do something I have never, ever, ever asked you to do before. And I'm going to ask you guys to vote Republican, starting at the top of the ballot and going all the way to the bottom of the ballot. I'm asking you to vote Republican. So I had this, still trying to deal with that computer issue. So we got to solve this problem, guys. We've got to solve this problem. And if we don't solve this problem, I don't know what's going to happen to the United States. But right now, we've got a lot of people that are out of work, a lot of veterans that are out of work. And the only way we're going to fix this problem is to restore the economy immediately. So I'm asking all of you to do that. And that includes, by the way, supporting New Manna Foods. NewManna.com, NUMANNA.com, NewMannaFoods.com. because we are expecting food shortages here in the near future. You need to get your order in now. The orders are filled on a first-come, first-served basis. Go to newmanafoods.com. Get in your orders right now. Be prepared. I'm asking you to do the same thing. And my other advertisers as well. Joe Dana, Raul Reyes running for Congress. You need a man like Raul in Congress. Trust me, you do. And on those notes, guys, I'm going to be right back on right side of the mic.
Join us in the chat on YouTube and Facebook.
I'm Joe Dana. As your candidate for Harris County Sheriff, I bring 25 years experience in law enforcement. As a conservative, I am committed to lead and manage the office with integrity, transparency, and accountability. I will preserve and protect the Constitution and the laws of Texas. It's time to restore trust in the Sheriff's Office. Please follow our campaign at danaforsheriff.com. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Joe Biden promised Ukraine $1 billion if they fired the prosecutor investigating his son's company.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
But when President Trump asks Ukraine to investigate corruption, the Democrats want to impeach him, and their media lapdogs fall in line. They lost the election. Now they want to steal this one. Don't let them.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
Hello, everybody. My name is Raul Reyes, and I'm running for Congress in Congressional District 23. I am a Trump Republican. I'm from the great city of Del Rio, Texas, born and raised on the border. I'm a retired lieutenant colonel, formerly a vice president of a junior college in Uvalde, Texas. I am a Trump supporter. I believe in America, and we need to put America in District 23 first. We need to secure the border, folks. We have illegal mass migration, and it has to stop. I'm pro-life, and I'm going to defend your religious freedom all the way through my tenure in Congress. I'm for the Second Amendment. No more infringements on our rights to defend ourselves in this great country. And I support our veterans. Being a veteran myself, I fully understand the issues and the problems that we have with the VA medical care system. I'm here to change that. With your support, we can get the care that our veterans need. God bless Texas and God bless America.
I'm Raul Reyes, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the Raul Reyes for Congress Committee.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office property since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas-owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
Doc says all the best words start with P. Prudence is a good word. Airlines will always say, put your own mask on first, then help your loved ones. Prudence means making sure that your family food supply is secure. Most stores have at best a 72-hour supply of food, and if something goes wrong, resupply will not happen quickly. You should have at least a 90-day supply of your favorites because it will allow you to weather the worst crisis and make plans for the future. The answer is newmanna.com. N-U-M-A-N-N-A. New Manna is not just food storage, but really tasty food that you will enjoy eating. New Manna food is designed to last for 25 years, but many people enjoy it several times a week. Now is the time to lay in a supply of tasty New Manna food for your family. Be prepared and know your family is safe. Go to newmanna.com right now for fast delivery. That's newmanna.com.
Like the sounds of cannons on the horizon, please return with me to the Amazing Doc Green Show, because I like things that go kaboom.
Oh, yeah, and we're back. Glad to have all of you once again. Everybody out there in American Voice Radio, everybody out there in Raging Elephants Radio land, and everybody out there in Facebook land even. Glad to have all of you guys. And, of course, please, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. I need you. I need subscribers. It's going to make life better for everybody. Pepe said, my wife mailed me a letter in Florida, and after 4 days, I turned in a report of a lost letter. 30 days later, I got my wife's letter and a letter from the United States Postal Service saying they could not find the letter. That makes sense, doesn't it? Oh, yes, it does. Please like and share if you're watching on Facebook. I appreciate that as well. Let's see here. I thought this was kind of interesting. You know, China has been lying about this for the longest period of time. Some people think this actually started in China last September. So Don Serber wrote this. He said, if Trump wants to get into China to investigate what's going on, which, by the way, they're not opening up to let him do that, Vice President Mike Pence said that Beijing was not forthcoming on what's going on over there. So the virus came along, and I'm not happy now to let him know, Trump said, adding that the pandemic has ruined the good faith he built with China in a trade deal. So we're not happy. This is not a good thing that happened. I want to remind you guys, once again, China hates Donald Trump. They hate him. This virus was to get a Democrat elected in November. It's not working. Donald Trump's numbers, in spite of what Ms. Nobody Cares says, Donald Trump's approval numbers are the highest they've ever been. Almost everyone can see through what's going on with this virus, and they recognize this as a Democrat attempt to destroy America. But anyway, this author said, first, he should quarantine all cargo from Red China for 30 days, so we can no longer trust anything that comes in from Red China as being safe to handle. Now, I love that idea. This will be devastating to Walmart, but I don't really care. I love this idea. Walmart should get back to buying American. They used to, and they need to get back to that. They need to get back to buying American. And the best thing that's come out of this, ladies and gentlemen, is we have finally realized that stuff needs to be built in America. We don't need to be relying on crap built in other countries. Oh, it's okay if you want a bottle of French champagne. I guess if you want to drive a fine German automobile, you know, that's a different matter. But those things should be the choices of the filthy rich. The ones that have so much money they don't know where to spend it. The rest of us should have an American alternative at a reasonable price. And the only way to make that happen is to have plenty of American manufacturing going on. I happen to be in the electronics business. My secular company, AV Expert, we used to be able to sell American products. We used to have American amplifiers, American preamplifiers, American receivers built by Macintosh in Binghamton, New York. Yeah, they were a little pricey, but they sounded good. And they were built here in America. Used to be all of the great speakers were built here in America, great loudspeakers for your stereo system. They were built here in America. Well, now great speakers are built primarily in Canada. But I want to restore this. I really don't mind buying stuff from our Canadian friends. Trudeau is an idiot, but I really don't mind buying stuff from Canada. But we need to get back to that. So the next thing to do is strip China of its most favored nation status. Move them to the end of the line for trade. And Donald Trump has been doing this steady on. He's been setting up supply chains with Japan, with Vietnam, with Singapore, with India. He's been doing that. China has been losing out steady on. And all direct flights from Red China. Period. If China wants to get somebody here in the United States, they should have to go through at least 2 other airports before they can get here. And right now, a lot of you don't know, but still, on our southern border, nearly 6 out of 10 of the people being caught on our southern border are coming in from China. They're going to Mexico first and then coming across our very porous southern border. That has been cut down greatly by the wall, which is being built steady on. Fourth, raise tariffs on China to cover the cost of the damage done by the Red Chinese. And depending on the product, that could be anywhere from 100% tariff to 1,000% tariff. And this would force China to build a superior quality product, because if you're going to have to pay 100% tariff to buy that product, it better be damn good. Fifth, give Apple and other American companies a 30-day deadline to shut down their manufacturing in China. If it's made in China, can't be used here in the United States by an American company. Should be that simple. Because there is no part that Apple needs, that Dell needs, that Google needs, that could not be bought here in the United States. And Frank said, if we bring back American manufacturing, that would be the best way to punish China. Well, we should build stuff here that's so good that even China wants to buy it. We used to. Used to be American cars were the standard by which other cars were judged. We kind of lost that for a while when the unions got complete control of that, but we can get back to that. Number 6. Replace Red China with Taiwan on the UN Security Council. Now that, my friends, would make more sense than anything else. It was the stinking anti-American globalist that threw Taiwan over and said, all right, we're going to pretend that Taiwan is actually a property of China, and we're going to deal only with Chinese government. It was a bad idea. It was a stupid idea, and we should not allow it. By the way, I alluded to this earlier, but this just in. Oil prices plunged below zero, sending stocks even lower. Demand for energy has collapsed because nobody's going to work. Nobody's buying anything. Stocks were slipping in afternoon trading today. The S&P is down 0.9%. The market's most dramatic action by far was in oil. Much of the drop into negative territory was chalked up to technical issues. But the May delivery contract is close to expiring, so it was seeing less trading volume, which can exacerbate swings. Prices for delivery even further into the future were dropping. So tanks could hit their limits within 3 weeks, which means at that point, all the tanks are full. There's no place to put the oil. Back to my other article. Replace Red China with Taiwan. Seventh, start calling it Red China again. Red China is still an evil empire built on the bones of 100 million Chinese that were killed by their own government, Mao Zedong. Call it Red China. Yes. The Chi-Coms. Yes. Thank you, Frank. And also, we should consider seizing red Chinese assets in the United States, and this includes buying up or taking over Smithfield pork processors. In the last 8 years, the United States has given Red China more than $3 trillion in trade surpluses. They use that money to buy sticks to beat us with, building an advanced aircraft carrier that is better than any of our current aircraft carriers. That's what they use that extra money for. Trying to win the space race, trying to land a man on the moon. And Donald Trump tried to work with Red China, but instead they decided to try to kill us. So now we have bipartisan support to punish Red China. Now, Nancy Pelosi, on the other hand, no, she doesn't want to punish Red China. Dianne Not-So-Feinstein, don't forget, was harboring a Chinese spy as her driver for 20 years. We can rebuild our economy. We don't need China to do it. And that, my friends, I thought that was pretty outstanding information. Don Serber, I think you're right on. I hope Donald Trump's paying attention to that. So during the coronavirus press conference on Sunday, by the way, Donald Trump holds a coronavirus conference every day. He is the most accessible president and answers more questions from reporters than any president in the history of the United States. And this is why all the mainstream news networks have quit taking the conference, because Donald Trump looks so in charge, so presidential, so capable, so on the mark that they can't stand it anymore. And that's why every day when my news takes the first 5 minutes of his conference and cuts away on CBS, I go into YouTube and I catch the entire conference over there on YouTube. But during his coronavirus press conference yesterday, Donald Trump shredded the leftist reporter, CBS reporter, Weijia Zhang, by asking her a question she couldn't answer. Zhang falsely claimed that a member of the Trump administration called the coronavirus the Kung Flu. Kung Flu. Everybody was Kung Flu fighting when she started her exchange by defending communist China. She was visibly upset when Donald Trump said last week, I was angry because they should have told us what was really going on here. They should have told us early, and it should have been a lot sooner. People knew it was happening in China, but they didn't want to talk about it. So Zhang then asked him if he was talking about China, and President Trump said they should have told the rest of the world too. And the reporter, instead of attacking China, attacked Donald Trump and accusing him of knowing how bad the situation was, but doing nothing. And you guys, I've done the timeline here before. You know that's a lie. But she said many Americans saying exactly the same thing about you. You should have warned them that the virus was spreading like wildfire in the month of February instead of holding rallies with thousands of people. Why did you wait so long? And Zhang said, you didn't warn people. And Donald Trump quickly asked her if she was aware of the information that was not known at the time. Okay, you know how many people, when I issued the ban, Donald Trump said, how many cases of the virus were in the United States when I issued the ban? Do you know that number? How many cases were here when I issued the ban? And Zhang tried to deflect. However, Donald Trump pressed further. No. You had to do your research. On the 23rd of March, you said you knew this was going to be a pandemic, Zhang said. Well, how many cases were in the United States when I did my ban? The president continued. How many people died in the United States? I did a ban where I'm closing up the entire country. But how many people died? How many people died in the United States, yet I closed up the entire country? And the answer is there were no deaths, 0 deaths at the time I closed the country. Nobody was there. And you should say, thank you very much for your good judgment, President Trump. I love this guy. All right, guys, I'm out of time. See you tomorrow. God bless you.
Join us in the chat on YouTube and Facebook.